How I cut my grocery bill by 70%. Well, first you create a grocery list. So that's kind of a personal thing, what you consume, what you use to bake with, what you want in your pantry. I'll share mine. So we consume 1.5 gallons of milk a month, 2 gallons of orange juice, 32 ounces of half and half, a pound of butter, 30 eggs, 4 cabbages, 12 Roma, 16 ounces of lettuce, 8 ounces of spinach, 2 pounds of carrots, 8 zucchini, 8 summer squash, 2 large eggplants, 4 bread, some lunch meat, cheese slices, a block of cheese, 4 yogurt, frozen spinach, corn, squash, and bananas. Comes to $165. My numbers may look a little higher than your numbers. There's some things that I buy that is great value. I have no issue at all buying store brand items, but then when it comes to like the orange juice and the milk, we do prefer organic milk. We do drink organic or great value organic milk, but when it's not available, we're going to have to go with the next brand, which is Organic Valley, and 1.5 gallons is going to run us $16 a month. I've tried, just regular milks and milk that's on super sale, powdered milk, all of it, and I wouldn't drink milk if I hadn't found organic milk. Just think, my personal preference, it's nobody else's, is that I just want a good, rich cream taste to milk. I grew up on a farm, so I want something similar to that. And I found that in especially Organic Valley milk, but I can't always afford it, and it's not always there. So whatever's there is what we buy. 2 gallons of orange juice in a month may seem a little extreme. I do buy oranges when they're on sale, and I do squeeze oranges to make homemade orange juice. So sometimes that number isn't always $16. And the half and half is used not only for cooking and baking, but also for our coffee. So I make homemade salads with the cabbages, and we have lots of stir fries and ratatouille. So that's why we need so much in the way of carrots and zucchini and squash and eggplant. But that's our basic list. While I'm constructing the grocery, I also see if we need potatoes. We don't go through potatoes a lot, but if we need them, we buy 3 pounds. If we need an onion, when strawberries are in season, I buy strawberries not only at the store, because they often sell them from local, but I go out and pick strawberries. I do the same with apples. I go pick apples in an orchard, or I glean apples in an orchard. I buy oranges as soon as they're available and in season, and I continue to buy them as long as they are at an affordable price. Peaches, they come up from South Carolina or Georgia, and we usually buy 2 crates of them. Pears, I start eating those as soon as they're available in the store, and the red ones are available right now in October. Cucumbers just in the summer, squash just in the fall, and sweet potatoes just in the fall. As far as pantry stores, I've developed what I want in my pantry, and I've stocked it with those items. So I want at least 4 cans of Bush's beans, 4 cans of soup, 4 cans of whole tomatoes, tomato paste, a container, a backup of olive oil, 2 cereals, because I usually buy them 2 for $7. My husband the same thing, 2 for $9 for his, 2 ketchup, 2 mustard, 1 mayo, 2 applesauce. It's no applesauce when I can make homemade applesauce. Then we usually want to have 4 cans of tuna, 4 cans of salmon. I look around, make sure I don't need spices. Peanut butter, I make my own jam, so I don't need to buy jam. Rice, pasta sauce, 2 pounds of noodles, 4 pounds of elbow, and then I only buy wraps when it's on the menu because I don't like to freeze them, and then they, in our house, especially when the heat is on, they wouldn't last for very long. So just when it's on the menu, I make sure I have wraps. For baking needs, I always have 10 pounds of flour, 10 pounds of sugar, 3 pounds of brown sugar, baking soda, baking powder, chocolate chips, vanilla, yeast packets, confectioner's sugar, and I forgot to add this in the other list, usually a bag or 2 of lentils and kidney beans and northern beans. So that's what I want my pantry to look like, and that is the stores that I want to have in it. So when I go grocery shopping, I buy the first column. My basics, my staples are $165, and then I check and see if anything's in season. Then I would use money to buy extra of the produce that's in season, and then I would go to my pantry and see if any of those items are lacking. Like I've only got 2 bush beans left, so I need to buy 2. I don't have any backup of an olive oil. I've got to buy one, and I add that to the list. And by doing that for a number of months, I came to the conclusion that that was $350 worth is about what we're doing every month, how we're consuming those pantry stores. how often I'm baking, how often the seasonal produce is available and I'm purchasing it. And then, of course, we do consume everything that's on the first column, our basics. We consume that every month. So that's the first thing. And how, I came to the 350. Well, how do I get the 350? Well, you have to create a budget for your groceries, not just, you hope that, and I've been there and I lived there for my whole life just about, whatever's left at the end of the month, that's what I have for food. I had a good way to do things that way as well. And I got pretty creative for the first 20 years of our marriage. But there are, I won't say far easier, but in a way there's far more effective if you just kind of get an idea of, like in our case, we just kind of ate the same meals over and over. We had like a rotation. Meals that I would cook in the summer based on how busy we were, how much overtime my husband was working, what our outside activities were, so kind of easy meals, quick to make, quick to clean up after. And then I had meals that were for the weekend. I just kind of categorized them, weekend meals and what ingredients I needed. If his parents would come over or I would have friends over, what type of food we would feed them. I had a list of what I would need to go to the store and buy. And I just saved every dime, every nickel, every dime until I could have those food stores in the house so that those items were available when company came or when we needed quick and easy meals. Otherwise, we just ate the same thing Monday through Sunday. And we were able to do it for a good many years on $70 a month. So, yeah, I don't miss those years. In a way I do, and in a way I don't. Life has gotten a lot more complicated, I would say. But if you can, you create a budget where we up above know that it's going to be $350. Where's that money coming from? Well, how I created the budget is I know that I'm going to make 3 meals a day. Some are going to be homemade. That's my preference. I am going to bake. I am going to entertain, and I want to keep a certain pantry store. I want to keep a certain amount in my pantry. And our grocery budget comes from when we make an income. We minus our fixed expenses, and we're left with a lump sum of money, and we decide out of all of the things that we use that money for, how much is going to be the grocery budget. Well, up above, and by experience and historically, it's 350. So right away we put aside 350, and whatever else is left over goes into savings, investment, and retirement. So we've determined, what we need, and then we have set the budget. So the amount comes from determining your needs and money left after fixed expenses are paid that are not earmarked for, and I shouldn't say that's not earmarked to be saved or invested. It's what's left over then should be saved or invested, if at all possible. Your meal plan is your next way to cut your grocery bill. So I prioritize proteins first. That's the first thing that I decide. I go into my freezer and see what proteins I have. I'm going to make a whole other video about how I shop for meat, when I shop for meat, and what it costs and how long it lasts. But in our freezer, most of the time there's a chicken, there's ground beef, there's turkey, there's sausage, there's bacon, and there's salmon. So from that, I make chicken wraps. Our meals include chicken wraps, homemade chicken soup, a house salad with chicken salad sandwich, and a roast chicken dinner. And out of the ground beef, I make casseroles, chili, spaghetti and meatballs, homemade pizzas, sloppy joes with house fries, hamburgers with house fries, and lasagna. When I have a turkey, I make roast turkey dinner, turkey salad, and turkey tetrazzini. With the bacon and sausages on the menu is pancakes, waffles, French toast, omelets, fried egg sandwiches, and a breakfast casserole. And then just some extra meals that I just float around on a 30 or 31-day menu is homemade soup with toasted sandwich, a frozen pub pizza or a homemade pizza, hot dogs. Sometimes it's hot dogs with potato crowns or, again, homemade fries. And then I always, even in the wintertime, I'm making salads. So ham and cheese, macaroni or potato salad, coleslaw, all of it. So that is our menu. Those are the meals that we eat. If it isn't sausages and bacon, I buy bratwurst a lot, Polska kielbasa a lot. So we have a variety of food to eat off of 5 or 6 different proteins. Meat proteins, that is. And so then you need to meal prep. I meal prep for mostly homemade dinners and a lot of homemade lunches, 3 hours a week. So when I buy chicken, I buy enough to roast 3 or 4 at a time, and I package up for quick meals. Ground beef is the same. Like I said, I'll make a video, show how I afford, how much I buy, the cost and how I freeze it and use it and prep it. But I cook up 2 to 3 pounds of ground beef at a time to make the meals on the left-hand side that have ground beef. Turkey, we roast 2 or 3 a year, and I package them up for those quick meals. Sausages, I buy the sausages in bulk. I buy bratwurst in bulk, bacon in bulk, and then I do meal prep. When I bring home the bacon in bulk, I break it down so that I have packages. 1 package of bacon is broken up into 3. So I would have 9 meals with 3 packages of bacon. Sausage, the same thing. My husband only wants 2 sausages per meal, so we could have 6 or 8 meals. The same with turkey. Out of a turkey and that, I can get a dozen different meals, and then you stretch it even farther if you add extra water to the soup. So yeah, stretching, adding different ingredients. And then the 5th one, which I do not have on the spreadsheet, and everything that I do is on a spreadsheet, mostly because of work, but I do things on paper and pen. Leave it in the comments if you want to see me just do it and do the things that I talk about budget-wise in paper and pencil or pen, or you like the spreadsheet. I often think maybe it's hard to see the spreadsheet. It looks okay on my end, but I'm worried about your end. The 5th thing, and it's not written here, but it should, and that is shopping online. You know, when we can shop groceries online or shop whatever we want online, that really cuts into the grocery budget. If I set it at $3.50 and I have got $3.50 on a grocery list, but all of a sudden it's like, well, I want to get this from Walmart later, or I want to have what I do, a really good trick, and I've done this for years, especially, and it's timely, when Prime Day comes up, is set it in the cart and think about it. I think a lot of people do this, especially people that maybe are like me that have been impulsive in the past, really impulsive. I set it in the cart and I think about it. And usually within 24, 48, 72 hours, I just delete it or save it for later. I've thought, you know, after I'm almost close to the $3.50, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I should have a Walmart order to get a few extra things. Somebody mentioned the prices are going up on this and that, and just, you know, kind of blow the grocery budget. I've done that in the past, but I haven't done that in the last year. I really wanted to prioritize saving. And saving we did. We saved more in the last year. I think I have it written 300% than we've saved ever in our 32 years of marriage, and that I have saved ever in 61 years of life. So I consider that all of the things that I thought about myself financially, money-wise, savings, investing, you know, that I thought I can never do it. I can do it. Sometimes thinking about budgeting or making grocery lists or creating meal plans or prepping. I don't have time for that. I just want to buy food, bring it home, and eat it. But making just a little bit of time really solved our problem. And our problem was we just never had enough left over at the end of the month to save. Never. And so, or if we did, it was very little. And, you know, whether you're going like us and wanting to buy a new, well, actually in our case, having to buy a new vehicle, or just saving, just for the sake of saving, to have money for the future, for retirement, for a rainy day, for a hospital bill. This is how we're doing it. It's little by little, but it's going to get done. And having shopping carts with stuff sitting in it, just let them wait. I put items in it sometimes and I just walk away, and when I come back, I can't believe that I thought that I needed that or that it was necessary. When I created my grocery list, I have the things that I need for 30 days and then some. My pantry is stocked, and that's all I'm going to spend. The rest is going to savings and investment. So I hope this video explains how I've cut our grocery bill 70%. If you have any questions or comments, I look forward to reading them. And thank you for joining me here again.